Okay, imagine this. A future where fighting cancer isn't just, chemo or radiation, but something super targeted,
Mhm.
like a personalized key for your specific cancer lock.
Right.
Now, what if you heard this headline from Russia claiming they've got an mRNA cancer vaccine ready, and it's going to be free, widely available early 2025?
Yeah, that definitely grabs your attention. Sounds almost like science fiction.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like something straight out of a medical thriller. So today, that's what we're digging into.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission is to unpack the science behind it, look at the tech like AI and this omics stuff, and really grasp what it all means for cancer treatment going forward.
It's a huge topic, but incredibly important.
Totally. So let's get you properly informed on something complex, but honestly pretty hopeful.
Let's do it.
Okay, jumping right in.
Mm.
That Russian claim. State news agency, TASS, reported it. New mRNA cancer vaccine, public by early 2025. And the real kicker, free.
Free is definitely the headline grabber there, especially in personalized medicine.
Right, so who's behind this effort over there?
Well, the key names are Andrei Kapran, who's the head of the Radiology Medical Research Center, and Alexander Ginsberg. He directs the Gamaleya National Research Center.
Gamaleya.
That sounds familiar. It should. They're the ones who developed the Sputnik V COVID vaccine.
Ah,
And Ginsberg's been saying their preclinical trials look promising, showed the vaccine seems to suppress tumor growth and maybe even stop it spreading, metastases.
and there's an update, right? They've got volunteers lined up.
Yeah, recruitment's done. Clinical trials are apparently set to start this September, so very soon.
Wow. And they're starting with specific cancers.
Initially, yes, melanoma and small cell lung cancer, but they're planning to expand later to kidney, breast, they called it mammary gland, and pancreas cancers.
That's quite a range. Shows some serious
It
ambition.
does. And they've put a number on the cost, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Each personalized vaccine case, they estimate, will cost the Russian state budget about 300,000 rubles.
So not insignificant. It underlines that this personalized approach is a major investment, even if it's free to the patient eventually.
Exactly. It's not just mass producing a pill, it's a custom therapy.
Okay, let's unpack this more. How do these mRNA vaccines actually work for cancer? Because it's different from, say, a flea shot, right?
Totally different. Traditional vaccines often use a weakened or dead virus to trigger your immune system.
Right.
mRNA vaccines, though, they're like messengers. They deliver a set of genetic instructions, basically a recipe, into your own cells.
A recipe for what?
A recipe telling your cells to make tiny, harmless pieces of specific proteins found on cancer cells. These are called antigens.
Okay.
So your immune system sees these antigens, recognizes them as foreign, like an enemy, and learns to fight them. It builds an army of antibodies and specialized T cells.
So it's like training your immune system.
Precisely. Then, if your immune system ever encounters those same antigens on actual tumor cells later on, boom, it knows exactly what to do and launches a targeted attack.
That's clever.
And here's a really key difference from, say, the COVID mRNA vaccines.
Okay.
Those usually targeted just one thing, like the spike protein. But cancer is tricky. It mutates. So these cancer mRNA vaccines are designed to target multiple unique antigens on the tumor cells.
Like hitting it from different angles.
Exactly. A multi-pronged attack to make it harder for the cancer to escape.
And this is where it gets really interesting, right? The personalization. These aren't off the shelf.
No, absolutely not. They're custom made for each patient. The goal is to teach your immune system to fight your unique cancer.
And that takes time, currently.
Yeah, the report suggests producing one of these personalized vaccines takes about 2 months right now.
Still, that's incredible progress.
Yeah.
And Russia isn't the only one working on this, are they?
Oh, definitely not. Lots of companies in the US, Europe, elsewhere, Moderna, Merck, BioNTech, CureVac, they're all deep into developing mRNA cancer vaccines too. It's a really active field.
So if they're personalized, what exactly are they targeting? You mentioned antigens, but I've heard the term neoantigens specifically. What are those?
Right, neoantigens. They're sort of the holy grail for this kind of therapy. They are mutations, unique genetic mistakes that are found only on the cancer cells. They don't exist in your normal, healthy cells.
Oh, okay, so they're like perfect targets.
Exactly. It means the immune system can go after the cancer very specifically without causing collateral damage to healthy tissue. That's huge for reducing the awful side effects you often get with chemo.
Makes sense.
And the aim isn't just to shrink the tumor now, but to create immunological memory. So your body remembers how to fight that specific cancer if it ever tries to come back.
That's the real long-term goal. And certain cancers are better suited for this, like melanoma.
Melanoma is a prime candidate, yes.
Hmm.
Sadly, cases are rising globally. Estimates for the U.S. in 2023 were nearly 100,000 new cases, with over 7,500 deaths projected.
Oh.
But the reason it's suitable is its high mutational burden. Basically, melanoma cells tend to have lots of these unique genetic errors, these neoantigens, lots of flags for the immune system to target.
So it's like the cancer's making itself more visible to this kind of attack.
In a way, yes. And these vaccines often work even better when combined with other treatments.
Like what?
Things like immune checkpoint inhibitors, drugs that take the brakes off the immune system, or even chemo and radiation. It's about synergy.
Can you give an example?
Sure. There was a phase I trial, pretty promising, combining a personalized neoantigen vaccine with an anti-PD-1 checkpoint inhibitor for advanced melanoma.
And the results.
They reported a 6-month progression-free survival rate of 62%, meaning for nearly 2/3 of patients, their cancer didn't get worse for at least 6 months, and the overall survival rate was 80%.
That's really significant for advanced melanoma.
It really is. It shows the potential when you combine these approaches.
Does everyone respond this well, though? Or are there factors that predict success?
Good question. It seems patients whose tumors have that high mutational burden we mentioned, lots of targets, tend to do better. Also, something called their HLA genotype matters.
HLA genotype.
Yeah, it's basically part of how your immune system presents antigens. Certain genotypes might be better at showing these neoantigens to the immune cells. It's complex, but it points towards even more layers of personalization being needed.
Finding the right key for the right lock, truly.
Exactly. And the technology for delivering these vaccines is evolving too.
How so?
Well, right now, peptide-based vaccines using small protein fragments are the most common in trials, maybe around 41%. But mRNA platforms and also things like liposomal delivery systems are really gaining traction.
Why is it that?
They offer a lot of flexibility. It might be easier or faster to encode those patient-specific neoantigens using mRNA, for example, more adaptable.
Okay, so we have these incredibly personalized vaccines targeting unique neoantigens, but you mentioned it takes about 2 months to make one now. How do we speed that up? This seems like a bottleneck.
It is, and that's where artificial intelligence comes into the picture in a huge way.
AI, how does that help make a vaccine faster?
It's about processing the data. Alexander Ginsberg, the Gamaleya director, talked about this. He suggested that AI, specifically using things called neural networks, basically computer systems modeled loosely on the brain, could drastically cut that production time.
How drastically?
He talked about potentially reducing it from the current 2 months down to under an hour, maybe even 30 minutes.
Wait, from 2 months to 1 hour? That's almost unbelievable.
A staggering claim, absolutely. But it highlights the power of AI in handling immense complexity very, very quickly.
What part of the process does AI speed up so much? Is it finding those neoantigens?
That's the core of it. Identifying the right neoantigens from a patient's tumor DNA is incredibly data intensive. You have to sequence the tumor, compare it to normal cells, predict which mutations will actually produce proteins the immune system can see. It's a massive computational challenge.
The AI can just crunch through that.
It can analyze patterns in that data far faster than humans can, but AI's role in personalized medicine goes way beyond just vaccine creation.
Okay, like what else?
It's being used for early diagnosis, for screening, for predicting which existing drugs a patient might respond best to. Basically, anywhere there's complex medical data, AI can potentially help make faster, more accurate decisions.
Is there evidence it's actually working well?
Yes, quite a bit. A big review looked at 63 studies on AI in personalized medicine. It found really high performance metrics, maximum reported accuracy near 99%, sensitivity sometimes hitting 100%.
Wow.
A lot of these studies, 41% were focused on predicting drug response. Another chunk, maybe 13%, were about improving diagnostic accuracy. So it's showing real promise across the board.
How does it actually analyze the patient data? What goes in?
It takes in a whole bunch of stuff. Genomic data, obviously gene activity, mutations, protein levels. Then there's radiomics data.
Radiomics.
Yeah, that's extracting subtle features from medical images like CT scans or MRIs that the human eye might miss. And also data on how similar patients responded to different drugs.
Okay, so it combines all that.
Yeah.
Using what kind of AI methods?
Common ones include things like support vector machines, SVM, and random forest. These are often good for prediction tasks. For image analysis, like in radiomics, convolutional neural networks, CNNs, are frequently used. Different tools for different jobs.
And this impacts drug development too, not just treatment.
Absolutely. AI can help design better clinical trials. It can help identify which patients are most likely to benefit from a new drug being tested. This is called patient stratification.
So smaller, smarter trials.
Exactly. Which reduces costs and risk significantly. Think about it. If you can focus a trial on likely responders, your chances of success shoot up.
Any examples?
Yeah. Look at lung cancer trials using biomarker-targeted therapies. So, drugs aimed at specific genetic features identified often with AI's help. Their cumulative success rate was around 62%.
And compared to normal trials?
The average for any drug entering phase I is only about 11%. That's nearly a six-fold increase in success rate.
That's huge.
And it translates to real cost savings. Studies have shown risk-adjusted cost reductions of like 26–27% in developing these targeted therapies. Faster, smarter, cheaper. That's the potential.
This incredible precision, the personalization, the AI analysis.
Yeah.
It all relies on having the right data in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to omics data. What exactly is that?
Right. Omics is sort of an umbrella term for large-scale biological data sets. It's the raw material that fuels personalized medicine. It goes way beyond just your basic genes.
Okay, break it down for us. What are the layers?
The foundation is genomics. That's studying the entire set of DNA, your genome. The Human Genome Project finished back in 2003, mapping roughly 20,500 genes.
And now we can sequence genomes much faster and cheaper.
Exactly. Thanks to next-generation sequencing technologies, or NGSTs. The big challenge now isn't just reading the sequence, it's figuring out how specific genetic details actually link to diseases, like finding the critical typo in a giant manual.
Makes sense. What's next after genomics?
Transcriptomics. This looks at all the messenger RNA, or mRNA, molecules. If DNA is the master blueprint, mRNA shows which parts of the blueprint are actually being used or expressed at any given time.
So which genes are switched on or off?
Pretty much. Technologies like microarrays or increasingly RNA-seq help us measure this. RNA-seq is becoming dominant because it's accurate and can work with tiny samples.
Okay, DNA instructions, RNA activity.
What?
Well,
Then you have proteomics. This is about identifying and cataloging all the proteins, the actual workhorses of the cell and how they interact.
because proteins do most of the jobs in the body.
Right. Mass spectrometry is the main tool here. Scientists use different strategies like bottom-up proteomics to find disease biomarkers or top-down to look at crucial protein modifications that are often messed up in diseases.
So understanding the workers themselves. And there's more.
One more key layer, metabolomics. This analyzes all the small molecules, the metabolites, which are the end products of cellular processes.
Like the exhaust fumes of the cell.
Kind of. It gives you a real-time functional readout of what your body is actually doing metabolically. And you can often measure this non-invasively, like in blood or urine. It helps understand why individuals respond differently to drugs, for instance.
Genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, metabolomics. That sounds like an unbelievable amount of data.
It is. It's genuinely big data. The National Cancer Institute's Cancer Genome Atlas, for example, holds about 2.5 petabytes of data.
I can't even picture that amount.
Exactly. And managing it is a massive challenge. Storing it, analyzing it, you run into problems like missing data points, the curse of dimensionality where having too many variables makes it hard to find real patterns, and ensuring your analysis isn't biased.
So the potential is huge, but wrangling the data itself is a major hurdle.
A very significant one, yes.
Okay, this whole revolution, mRNA, vaccines, AI, omics, sounds incredible. Amazing potential for patients. But let's talk brass tacks. The economics, the regulations, how does this actually reach people?
Yeah. That's the crucial next step because right now, cancer treatment is incredibly expensive. U.S. healthcare spending hit $3.2 trillion back in 2015, and developing a single new drug often costs over $2.5 billion.
And even then, they don't always work for everyone.
Far from it. There was a sobering study, maybe back in 2004, suggesting that for any given class of cancer drugs, they might be ineffective in 75% of patients.
3 out of 4 people don't benefit. That's staggering.
It really is. It shows the huge waste, both financially and, more importantly, in terms of patient suffering and lost time, with the traditional one-size-fits-all approach.
So personalized precision medicine, or PPM, aims to fix that and potentially lower costs overall.
That's the promise. By figuring out upfront who is likely to respond to a treatment and who isn't, you avoid giving expensive, ineffective drugs. You save time, money, and side effects.
And it helps with clinical trials, too, as you mentioned.
Right. Smaller, targeted trials are cheaper and more likely to succeed. We saw those examples of 26–27% cost reductions in developing targeted therapies. So yes, while the individual personalized treatment might be costly up front, the system-wide potential for savings and better outcomes is huge.
But right now, for the patient, these treatments are expensive, aren't they?
They are, and often patients are facing hefty copays, maybe 20–40% of the cost, which can easily run into tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Ouch. And insurance coverage is lagging behind the science.
Often, yes. Payers like Medicare are understandably cautious. They want to see really strong, overwhelming evidence of effectiveness and cost-effectiveness before they broadly reimburse these newer complex tests and therapies. It's a balancing act.
Has there been any movement on that front? Any insurers starting to cover this?
There was a notable step back in December 2015. United Healthcare, a major private insurer, agreed to cover a specific genomic profiling test from Foundation Medicine.
For which patients?
For patients with advanced metastatic non-small cell lung cancer. It was a specific situation, but it set an important precedent. It showed a major payer seeing the value.
But broader adoption really needs Medicare to get fully on board.
Medicare policies are definitely a key driver for wider coverage trends in the U.S., yes.
And then there's the regulatory side. You mentioned the FDA and CMS. Sounds complicated.
It can be. Having multiple agencies involved creates, let's say, a convoluted landscape sometimes. The FDA is trying to adapt. They've talked about flexible oversight for these advanced sequencing tests, NGS tests. They even launched a platform called Precision FDA to help standardize things.
But there are still sticking points.
A big one is the regulation of laboratory-developed tests, or LDTs. These are tests designed, manufactured, and used within a single lab. There's been ongoing debate and confusion about how strictly they should be regulated compared to commercially distributed test kits.
And that confusion affects investment.
It absolutely can. Uncertainty makes it harder for labs and companies to invest in developing new innovative tests if they don't know what the regulatory goalposts will be.
So at the end of the day, making this personalized medicine revolution a reality for everyone requires
what? It really requires collaboration. Doctors, researchers, insurers, regulators, tech companies, they all need to work together.
And maybe the patients themselves play a role.
Absolutely. Patient advocacy and the demand for better, more effective, more personalized care can be a powerful driving force for change. You, the patient, might ultimately push the system forward.
We've covered so much ground today, from that initial bold Russian vaccine claim through the science of mRNA and neoantigens, the incredible speed of AI, and this deep dive into our biology with omics. It really feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift, moving away from treating cancer as one disease to treating your specific cancer.
I think that's right. The potential is truly profound. Of course, there are still big challenges making these therapies scalable, making them affordable, sorting out the regulations. It's not simple.
No, definitely not simple.
But the progress is undeniable. The advancements we've talked about are a huge leap forward in how we understand cancer and how we can potentially fight it. The hope is real.
So maybe the final thought to leave everyone with is this. Consider what it really means. What does it mean for global health when breakthroughs like personalized cancer vaccines are no longer just futuristic concepts, but actually accessible? A personalized reality for every single patient, no matter where they are or what they can afford.